Sometimes a publisher will decide to spoil the comic book issue in a tasteful manner or a subtle way. And then there's other times where it just shows the most pivotal moment right on the cover. The most obvious explanation is they want people to pick up these books, so even if it comes at the cost of spoiling the book, at least sales were good. I racked my brain to come up with 50, but I want you guys to pop in the comments any you might be able to add to this list. I'm dying to know. Don't forget, probably by the time this video airs, we will have hit 40,000 subscribers, so it's your last chance to comment, like, be subscribed. We're giving away the first Miles, Spider-Gwen, or Laura Kinney of the winner's choice in a full 9/8 white pages. Starting off with the Batman Vampire trade paperbacks. Red Rain is actually just book one. The whole thing's called Batman Vampire. There's 3 books, and it isn't until the very end of the first book that the mystery is revealed that Batman had been slowly turning into a vampire. Well, the trade paperback wastes no time in completely spoiling that for you. It shows Batman as a vampire. Next up is Amazing Spider-Man 124. It's the first appearance also of Man-Wolf, but the cover spoils J. Jonah Jameson's relation to the character. Could they have made that choice up to the reader? Probably, but they didn't. Detective Comics 442, pre-crisis Batgirl. We're talking Barbara Gordon reveals her identity to her dad, Commissioner Gordon, and the cover shows the entire event unfolding. By the way, in pre-crisis, it's actually implied that Jim always knew. Spider-Boy 13, we're going to see a couple on these lists that are specifically called spoiler variants. This is the first appearance of Hulkette, and the cover shows Hulkette on the cover. Walking Dead 156, Negan kills Alpha right on the cover. But this is obviously a huge pivotal moment in the comics, which Negan, to regain Rick's trust, kills the big bad Alpha leader of the Whisperers. Oh, and it's right on the cover. Pretty obvious if you know the story. Life with Archie, number 36. Readers were surprised to pick this up and see a dying Archie on the cover. That's because Archie catches a bullet for a friend of his. Interesting that they showed that exact moment on the cover. But it got people to pick up the book. X-Men 25 shows the now iconic moment in which Magneto rips the adamantium off of Wolverine's bones right on the cover. Ultimate Universe 1 Year in, number 1. This is the spoiler variant, which shows the first appearance of the Ultimate Wolverine. This is actually one of the most popular spoiler variants on the entire list. This is a big book. Captain America 25 is the death of Captain America, and not all variants show it, but mainly cover A is pretty darn obvious about it. Daredevil Volume 2, Issue number 5. This is the Quesada variant, which shows the exact pivotal moment in which Karen Page canonically dies at the hands of Bullseye. Spectacular Spider-Man 229 shows Peter Parker quitting, and Scarlet Spider, Ben Reilly, takes over as the main Spider-Man. Pretty unpopular arc, by the way, but they really didn't bother hiding that. Batman 497, pretty famous one here. This is the culmination of Bane's plan. Leading up to this, you didn't know if Batman was going to be able to beat Bane, and sure enough, he isn't, and it was spoiled. Amazing Spider-Man 50, now a very obvious storyline, but put yourself in the shoes of readers in the 60s. Peter walking away from Spider-Man was a huge deal, and that pivotal moment is right on the cover. Amazing Spider-Man Volume 2, number 35. I like this spoiler because it's actually a subtle spoiler. It doesn't outright show, but after you read the issue, you realize that the cover was a spoiler. In this issue, it shows Peter's mangled suit at the foot of his bed, which is the moment where Aunt May finally finds that he's Spider-Man. Fastest Man Alive, number 13. Black Flash, aka the Grim Reaper, who only appears when a speedster is about to die, is shown holding Bart Allen. Would you know it? It's also the issue where Bart Allen dies. Little bit of a spoiler on that one. Green Lantern 224 is also the last issue of that main run. It's the destruction of Oa in the Central Battery, and it's the final issue, and they just show it, the whole event right there on the cover. Annihilation Conquest, the Omnibus. This one's pretty bad. Ultron is revealed slowly as the mystery villain in this storyline. However, the Omnibus decides to plant him as the villain on the cover of the Omnibus. Secret ruined? Yeah, this one was a bit of a strange decision. X-Men 141, Days of Future Past, shows a possible future with all the already dead or apprehended X-Men right on the cover. X-Force number 4 from 2019 is the death of Warpath, although you probably knew that before you were going to even read it because it's right on the cover. Sensational She-Hulk number 40 teases the fact that She-Hulk is going to be jumping rope naked throughout the first 4 or 5 pages of the book. This spoiler is very clearly targeted to get more male readers in general, but especially male readers. Miles Morales, The Ultimate Spider-Man number 11, tip the hat off to Doom's involvement with the reemergence of Hydra, a little too obvious by having Dr. Doom the only character on the cover. Animal Man 19 shows Animal Man learning to break the fourth wall, but we're given insight into that before we even crack it open from the cover. Most classic one on the list, Superman 75, The Death of Superman. What needs to be said? It shows the death of Superman. The Final Crisis hardcover shows Batman's death. Yeah, this one's a strange decision, too. Crisis on Infinite Earths number 7 is the death of Supergirl, shown quite prominently on the cover. Venom 23, the spoiler variant, although there are other variants that spoil it as well. Black Widow first bonds with a symbiote. Spider-Man 7, pretty famous one here. The spoiler variant, it's the first appearance of Spider-Boy. There he is prominently featured on the cover of this spoiler variant. Daredevil 16, this is the Mark Bagley spoiler variant, which shows the moment that Bullseye loses his arm. There's other covers, but this is the one that spoils that moment. Superior Spider-Man number 5, Doc Ock, within the body of Peter Parker Spider-Man, remember that, kills Massacre. He one-shots him. Well, that moment subtly is shown on the cover. Amazing Spider-Man 26. This is the death of Miss Marvel. This was an interesting one because Marvel actually chose to let people know that someone was dying weeks and weeks before. Well, some variants of this, most notably the second print, just shows Ms. Marvel dead. Interesting choice. Batman Incorporated number 8 shows the death of Damian. It actually even says R.I.P. So there's no hiding. It's definitely the death of Damian, and there's no secrecy there. Batman 638, Red Hood, revealed to be Jason Todd. Obviously, you know Jason Todd was one of those characters that was supposed to be dead forever. Well, they brought him back after about 20 years, and the cover's just a little too obvious about it. I think it robs readers of that great moment in story. Green Arrow 101 shows the death of Green Arrow when he gets caught in the plane and the plane explodes. It shows the plane exploding on the cover. Civil War number 2, this is a big one. Spidey reveals his identity to the entire world. Well, this second print shows him unmasked, revealing his identity to the whole world. It's a little subtle, but it's there. Ultimate Spider-Man 13, great issue. MJ, very obviously, learns Peter's secret in this issue. Batman and Robin 19 shows Carrie Kelly as Robin. Carrie Kelly, obviously, from the Frank Miller Batman. First Carrie Kelly as Robin in continuity, even though that's not exactly what happens in the story. Batman 24, Batman proposes to Catwoman. That crucial moment is right there for us on the cover. Action Comics 662, after many decades of writing Superman, Lois finally learns Superman's true identity, and they chose to showcase it right on the cover to get people to buy the book, and it worked. Green Lantern, Green Arrow, number 85, Speedy, revealed as a drug addict. 85 and 86 were actually award-winning comics dealing with the troubles of drug addiction, and they used Speedy. Well, I guess it's not really any surprise if you were picking this off the rack back in the day, because it happens on the cover. Batman 508 shows the death of Avatar on the cover. This is the first time that Jean-Paul Valley, as the new Batman, kills or allows him to die, and Robin watches the whole thing. This is a crucial, pivotal moment in the realization that, oh my God, we need Bruce Wayne to be Batman again. This dude is out here killing people. DC Rebirth number 1, my favorite one on the entire list, because this was a spoiler cover and we didn't know it for years. We now know that Dr. Manhattan was the reason behind the formation of the New 52 and DC getting a rebirth in 2016. It was Dr. Manhattan all along the blue light, right in the corner. The second print outlines the hand more obvious, but still. X-Men 42, nice early issue here, shows the death of Professor X. Could you guess? Yeah, that's right. Well, he does in fact die in this issue, so, ooh, what a spoiler. Amazing Spider-Man 32 completely spoils that Norman Osborn is the Red Goblin. We didn't know Norman's involvement. Now we do. Astonishing X-Men number 4, the surprise return of Colossus. Only he's on the cover. Batman 424, we're doing another Jason Todd here. In this issue, it's heavily implied that Jason Todd kills a man by throwing him over the balcony. Well, that shot of him over the balcony is the cover of Batman 424. This is the beginning of the end for Jason, as it were. Second to last, Batman 428 is the death of Jason Todd. After Jason makes his first kill and everything, readers in the 80s voted in and actually voted Jason to die. I wish they were a bit more subtle with this cover because it definitely tips the hat that Jason dies in this issue. Last one I'm going to give you here is Helverine number 1. The spoiler variant, no less. It spoils the fact that Daken is the new Helverine. What were you guys able to come up with? Let me know in the comments down below. Do you mind spoiler covers? Is it part of the game? Or do you think it's a cheap way for them to get your money? Let me know in the comments below, and as always, keep on hunting. Make sure to come on down to Sentiment Depot's Antiques and Collectibles, located at 238 West Delaware Ave in Pennington, New Jersey. Find so many great books for just $1 and the lowest prices on key comics around. Enjoy a huge selection of graded comics priced up to 20% lower than current fair market value. We are open from Wednesday to Sunday, closed Monday, Tuesday. You got a collection you want to sell? Bring that too. Can't wait to see you there.